Of course, that was a good intended, a friendly advice, but if you talk today to IMF and World Bank people, you will discover that they will agree how naive they were in those early days, because there was a euphoria that with the collapse of the Soviet Union, of this ugly ideology, things will straighten and will come for granted without any effort. That was a major illusion, and we had to live through that. So on the economic side, we concentrated on amassing what we have in hand to make sure that we change the pattern and the gist of our economic outlooks and practices. We, as I said, the overall policy was liberal economic development. We didn't have resources, we didn't have knowledge, we didn't have capacity. Therefore, we opened the country for foreign investments, for foreign direct investments. The most attractive was the energy sector. We had these richnesses. We produced oil for 100 years. We have an experience of oil production for 100 years. So we opened up the sector. Today, 80% of oil assets in Kazakhstan belong to foreign companies. This is the level of openness of our economy. Very few people know about this. But energy sector is not the top priority for us. We understand that we heard about the Dutch disease, of course. We traveled to Dutch and we studied different experiences. And we understood very early that unless we put proper policies on the ground, the oil will become a curse rather than a benefit. Therefore, we started to, our top priority in one word is diversification. We want to develop a non-extractive sector of our economy. We want to turn our economy to a technology and service-based economy. This is in a nutshell. This is what we are trying to do. And a number of programs, a number of institutions, and huge amounts of money are routed from oil revenues into those efforts. In essence, we earn money on oil to develop the country. This is the booster for the development of the rest of the healthy economy. Economy based on oil is not a healthy economy. We understand this, and we implement these policies over the last 8 years. And as I said, we developed a number of institutions, and if the questions, I can give you the details. Political growth and civil society growth, etc., etc. This is the area where the West is most critical. On the economic front, the West is praising us. We are the most advanced, the most successful, particularly our banking sector. We switch to European financial standards, etc., etc. So we are one of the most attractive economies in the world. Politically, this is the area where we are under heavy criticism of the West, particularly NGOs. Of course, NGOs like Freedom House, Amnesty, and some others, unless they criticize, they will lose the reason for their existence. They have to criticize. They are paid for that. We understand this. But one thing our critics should understand, and we are very glad now to see the growth of understanding of politicians in the West of the challenges of our growth. We simply tell them that democracy is not something which is declared. Democracy should be lived through. We have to arrive to the values and to the culture and the habits by ourselves. It is not that someone wants to do this by a decree or by a paper signed, etc., etc. That will never happen. We know that how much it took the Brits, for example, from the 13th century, from the Magna Carta time to arrive to their values. And through what sacrifice, through what mistakes, through what blood they arrive to the values they are proud today of. And we know the challenges of this country through what difficulties you have to go through to arrive to the values which are not crystallized yet. No society has crystallized values. Therefore, we want to explain to our critics that no one is dragging us along the road of democracy. It is being painted as if there are certain commitments, as if we have to do something, or someone has to exert pressure on us, etc., etc. We calmly listen. by our nomadic tradition to what our friends have to say. We say thank you very much, but we will do things as we want them to do, as we see them right to be done, and we will do this so that not to undermine and ruin the whole house, which is called modern Kazakhstan. We have taken from the very beginning a dual route of liberal development, liberal economic development and liberal political development. We understand that the most important thing is economic development. People have to be given bread on their tables. People have to be given confidence for the future of their kids, for them to be sent to school. They have to have proper housing, etc., etc. That will create the middle class, and the middle class will be the backbone of the viable society. That is our concept, and we are implementing this concept step by step in a gradual, calm, traditional, nomadic way. We have our own understanding of things. We are open for friendly advice, but we are not subject to any pressure. And we may understand where it comes from, but basically we are pleased to see the growing understanding of informed politicians, informed analytics of what challenges we have to go through to arrive to our values. We are developing our values, and we do not want to copy or blueprint anything. We want to go through our own understanding of things, and we want to develop a culture of a healthy, viable, prosperous society. This is our long-term policy, and we are concentrated on that. On the regional foreign policy aspect and our relationship with the West, again, history tells us a lot. As I said, we are positioned in the center of a huge, massive land, which is called Eurasia. We prefer to be called not Central Asia. Even in Soviet days, the area was referred to as Kazakhstan and Central Asia. We are too big to be called Central Asia. We are Eurasian. For that reason, you have to call Russia also Central Asia and China Central Asia, because parts of Western China are in Central Asia. But this is a geographic terminology, and I understand that with the split of the Soviet Union for political easiness, the political parlance has acquired this term, Central Asia. But we are part of Eurasia, we are part of the Caspian region, we are next to Russia, we are next to China, so geographically we are in a very, very challenging and very promising situation. Pessimists say that, wow, you are next to Russia, wow, you are next to China, you are in trouble there. We say, no, this is a benefit, this is an advantage. These are growing, huge country with enormous potential, and they're God-given neighbors of Kazakhstan. Therefore, we lived with them for millennia, and we believe that in the 21st century and beyond, we'll be able to build civilized, good neighborly relations. What we are doing at the moment, we have extensive relationship with our neighbors, and we are proud that we try to be on a very good terms with them. Just one figure to give you, we have the longest land border in the world is not between Canada and the United States. It is between Kazakhstan and Russia. It is more than 7,000 kilometers. It's very difficult to imagine, but this is a fact. So along these 7,000 kilometers, I cross fingers and touch wood. We have good relations, and cooperation is growing. And Russia is an important economy for us, an important market for us, and we constitute an important economy and an important market for Russia. Another figure on another side of the border, 2,000 kilometers with China. This is the border of Kazakhstan. Only a few years ago, the trade was less than $400 million. Now it is nearing $10 billion. Enormous growth, enormous interest, enormous potential. We have become a major player in our part of the world. We are major investors. We outpaced the US as #1 foreign direct investor in Georgia, for example. We are concerned with the conflict there because our private sector has heavily invested in Georgia